Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at the new season. Are you excited for the new season? I'm excited for the new season. Today we're going to wreck some rank 1 player here as well, so you're going to be able to catch a move immediately into the video. Are you excited for the new season? Are you playing the Great League? Are you playing the Summer Cup? Let me know in the comments section as well. If you're excited, please leave a like. Otherwise, you're going to take a look today at the Shadow variant of the Alolan Sandslash, which now has access to the move Drill Run, which is going to be an interesting Pokemon to take a look at, as the Drill Run going to make this Pokemon so much better. Before, it was running Bulldoze most of the time, which is a pretty garbage move. Honestly, I don't know why it is so bad, but like, it is not a good one. And this time around, now we're going to have Finally Drill Run, which honestly is such a huge upgrade. You're going to see it as well. While we are playing some rank 1 people, we also had some pretty decent players against us as well in today's video, so it's not going to be all rank 1. But yeah, like honestly, I had a great time playing this Pokemon. Very decent one here. We're running a team that's pretty standard for this Pokemon as well. We're going to have the Sableye in the lead. We're going to have the Saisob of the Registeel, which is currently one of the best Saisobs around, because there's nothing really that can completely safely swap into you. For example, a Medicham still loses the Zero Shield scenario unless they go like, I think for like Power Punch or Dynamic Punch or some stuff. They still would lose the Zero Shield. Of course, every other shield scenario counter just does too much damage. But there's still going to be way more options where Registeel is a very good Saisob for this team here as well. We're going to have a lead that's going to be very decent against Fighting type Pokemon, while being self-weak against something like a Fairy type Pokemon. And we have 2 Pokemon in the back that are weak against Fighting type Pokemon, while they're being good against Fairy type Pokemon. You see we're playing in the first rank here right now. As you see already, a Muddy Water Stunfisk here coming against us, which is not really ideal for the opponent, because Muddy Water is basically not doing any damage, and they're even double moved. Please, trainer, go into PvPoke, check the ideal moveset, and go for that one. Please don't go for Muddy Water. It doesn't really help you. We are attack debuffed here, but still this Drill Run going to knock out the opponent's Galarian Stunfisk, which is going to be very nice. And our Sandslash still going to be able to reach another charge move here against the Lurantis, as the fast move is not Leafage, which I'm still curious on how this actually going to look like. But it's going to be, of course, the move Fury Canna, which is going to be also interesting. But here, we're going to now go up against the Sork again, and Sork will have no chance here, winning with 3 Pokemon and 2 shields left. Pretty easy. Next opponent, we're going to have a Skarmory in the lead. A very okayish force as well. Skarmory usually throws after 7 my own fast moves, in total 5 of the opponent's fast moves to go for the Sky Attack here, what they're going to do as well. We're gonna get out the Marowak, and this is also going to be very good for this team. Our lead can deal with Marowak pretty easily. Our Saisob still going to have at least the Zap Cannon, going to do some decent damage and might even debuff. Do we get the debuff? No, we are not. Oh, we're actually gonna get the debuff. Never mind. Don't mind me, we actually got the debuff here, but we're going to be able to get rid of this Pokemon before it would get up against our Alolan Sandslash, because Alolan Sandslash, double weak to fire. I think a Fire Spin does around like 50% of our health or something like that. It is kind of wild, but here we can go ahead and take a look at the Alolan Sandslash now against an Azumarill here as well, as Drill Run going to help out way more in this matchup as well. You kind of really want to have the fast move of Shadow Claw now on this Pokemon. Before, it was kind of equal in my opinion, determining like if you want to go for Powder Snow or Shadow Claw. Shadow Claw was the in general better fast move, but Powder Snow had Stab, of course. But nowadays, because of all the water type Pokemon that are currently around, like a Azumarill, but also like a Lantern, for example, you really want to have the fast move of the Shadow Claw here. And so, yeah, definitely going to be the better one to go for. If you have the Elite Team for that, which you should have after completing the last season, you should be able to get the fast move of Shadow Claw. It's definitely worth it, especially as there are not a lot of Elite Teams for the fast variant that will be that are really useful. Like one of them is this one here, of course, and the other one would be, for example, Ice Shot on Dugong, which we might gonna take a look eventually as well on this channel. But here we're going to encounter the worst possible Pokemon for this team, which is going to be Scrafty. I'm going to bait first, which then I realized, wait, I'm at rank 1, so most likely either people bait like shield everything, every single charge move, or they don't shield anything. And so I went ahead, went straight for the return, and boom, bye-bye Scrafty. If they knew what I had in the back, they most likely would definitely be a little bit pissed off here, but we're going to be able to now go ahead and go into our normal Registeel, of course, going for the Focus Blast, trying to do some damage against the opponent here, and we see the shield coming up, and we're going to just let this move go through, because the opponent went straight for that charge move. They didn't go ahead and just go for the like overfarm or whatever, which they could have done, but they went straight for it, which is going to allow us now to have a little bit of a better play with our Sandslash here, as the opponent going to go ahead and throw their charge move here immediately again. That's a pattern that I saw already from the opponent prior. They always went straight for their charge move, which is going to allow us here to easily catch, and now have a very decent matchup for us. Drill Run going to go at shielded here by the opponent, but honestly here you see how good Drill Run is as well again. Drill Run now going to put the opponent into farm down range for my own Sandslash, which is so nice because it was never the case with boulders before. So like this, it's going to be such a good matchup for the Alolan Sandslash, going to be able to knock out the opponent's Swampert here as well. As you're going to see now, the Sableye against the Medicham. A very decent lead for us, but we can still screw that up, as I didn't really know what I wanted to do against the opponent's Walrein. Could have went into either Pokemon, but staying in here was most likely the worst possible option. Maybe I could have even went for one charge move here with my Sableye and then went into my what's called Alolan Sandslash there, but the opponent going to let this move go through, allowing me now to have the matchup against the opponent's Medicham, allowing me to go for one Zapkin in here. We have some lag there again, we still have some frame drops on Android here sadly, but it's going to be still fine. I'm still happy that we're going to have some more positive vibes now, where the next, where this season here, going to be way better than compared to the last one. We're gonna get actually the attack debuff here, which is nice, and I can still reach another charge move here, allowing us to actually hopefully get the shield here, which we do, and we're going to swap out immediately, trying to go for the foul play, and now we're going to be able to get the final shield by the opponent. In comes their Sandslash, and they're going to decide to forfeit here. Good game there. Next opponent, Bastiodon in the lead, and this is going to be a tough one, and honestly I kinda regret this game a little bit, because I go ahead and go for the Zapkin here, which is all fine, but I guess maybe if I went ahead and went here now, if you're going to see it as well, we're going to see the Mud Bomb coming through, which actually going to help the opponent. The Mud Bomb is now buffed here for Toxicroak, because they're going to be able to farm me down just barely before I get to another charge move there. If I went for the Focus Blast instead and got another shield, I think I would have been maybe fine winning this game, or even, yeah, mostly the shield would have been the best one there. But like this, I know basically already what they're going to have in the back at this point of time, but I cannot play towards it. I have to hope that it's not what I think it is going to be in the back, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a Medicham, and it was, and we completely hardwalled this game, where is literally nothing where we could have done there. I expected it to be the Medicham in the back. It's a very decent team to play. So moving forward, we're going to have here now the Altaria against us in the lead. We're going to be able to swap perfectly onto the Sky Attack into our Registeel, getting out the Quagsire of the opponent. Quagsire are going to be one of the spammiest and the most annoying Pokemon to deal with most likely now, because Mud Bomb is going to do a chunk of damage here against us, but also going to be just good in general, as it's going to do so much damage against a lot of Pokemon. It's just a very decent Pokemon to play. I expect to see this Pokemon quite often in like regional tournaments as well, as Quagsire is a very good boy, and we're most likely going to take a look at this one tomorrow as well, then on my channel, but the Shadow variant, because I still have one left around from the one time where it was available. I think it was only available for like 1 or 2 weeks or something, if even, I think only a few days, because there was like one event I think before where we got the Quagsire as a Shadow variant for the first time in Pokemon Go, and I don't think since then it was ever available again, which is kind of sad, but very good Pokemon right now. They're most likely going to bring it back eventually now as well. But here we're going to now encounter a Shadow Swampert against us. We have to hope that we can outspeed with our Sandslash, but Sonic here going to be able to, of course, go for the Ice Punch here and knock out the opponent in time. Very nice here for us, as we see the Altaria coming in, and we hope that we get to the Ice Punch in time, but no. One turn before I get to my move, they're gonna get to their move, they're going to knock me out, and now it's all down to Sableye, but Sableye still reaches the return in time, allowing us to one-shot the opponent's Altaria from half of their range there, so it's going to be a good game. Another lead here that's going to be decent for us, but in comes now the Lickitung. Going to be okay for our Registeel here. I really hope that we're gonna get the Zap Cannon debuff, because if we're gonna get the Zap Cannon debuff, this makes this match up so much better, as you're going to most likely, I think, you get a bulk point against the Lick damage, which is the main damage that the opponent does here. But of course, we don't get that one, and we're gonna go ahead and try to go for another one there, just in case they're going to shield up. But now, if they would shield, they actually would be able to realign if they wanted to, because of the damage that they did now. But as they are not shielding here, again, no debuff here, we're going to be able to farm them all the way down, allowing us not to get to another move, but we can at least realign. Turns out they're going to have a double in the back, and this is horrible. Our fast moves are not doing damage against the opponent, and double is a core breaker for basically the entire team, to be fair. Like, it's going to be a core breaker for the entire team. Didn't really expect to see this Pokemon, especially that early, but we're still going to be at least able to go for another Ice Punch here with our own Sandslash. They're going to be able to knock me out there, but we're going to have now all hopes on our good boy Sableye, as we're going to be able to shield up the payback from the opponent. I'm gonna go ahead, go for the foul play here, but it's going to be still a tough one to win because I cannot farm them down here. And now I'm going to hope that I can go for one return and just one-shot the opponent. This is my only play really to go for here. Hopefully they're going to let this move go through, expecting that they can still survive one foul play. Let's take a look at this one. Can we do this one? We cannot. They're going to shield this move up. I have to overfarm now to 2 foul plays because I know that the opponent has a move stall onto their double, so I have to overfarm here, and sadly I am 1 away here, which I think if I had better energy timing or like management before, I went a little bit over 100 energy before, I think I might have been able to win this game still, but this was not like perfectly played by me, which is my own fault. Totally fine, totally okay. But we're going to now encounter the Froslass against us. Froslass is going to be a very decent one for us, as well as we're going to now get into our Alolan Sandslash here, which will be able to shield up the incoming Shadow Ball. But as you're going to see here, our fast move does so much damage against them that we're going to put them already into range for just 1 Ice Punch here. And they're going to shield this move up, but I know that they needed still 1 more fast move for a Shadow Ball, which is definitely their downfall here, as you're going to be able to now realign. In comes a Galarian Stunfisk, and you know already, we're going to have no Drill Run, and Drill Run does a ton of damage against the opponent, but the opponent decides to go into the Rapidash. I said Drill Run does a lot of damage against the opponent, as you can see here. Goodbye Rapidash. And also we're going to do a lot of damage here now against the opponent's Galarian Stunfisk. Gonna be able to now put them into the deep red half there. It's crazy how much damage Drill Run does actually. I thought it would do less damage than that, but honestly, Drill Run on this Pokemon going to be such an upgrade. It is going to be so good. I can see it totally being everywhere in regionals as well, which is a good one. In my opinion, I rather have like a Pokemon that has 2 double weaknesses, and in general a lot of weaknesses, not being that super bulky either, and still going to be able to be decent, other than like having Bastion everywhere and like Azumarill everywhere, which is going to be insanely bulky and kind of difficult to take down. Or rather have something like the Sandslash there that can sweep teams. Speaking of sweeping teams, Talonflame definitely has the potential to do that as well, as Talonflame has access to the move Flame Charge, which is going to higher up the attack. And of course, as you can see here already, we don't really have the best answers for this Pokemon anymore, especially as the opponent going to be able to go for the Flame Charge here now to knock me out. I'm forced to go into my Registeer. I'm forced to shield this move up here, as they're already buffed by 1 stage, and I will be able to outspeed them, but they're going to now go ahead and swap out into the Venusaur, and now it's going to be a little bit of a dicier one. This seems a little bit straightforward here, of course, but no, it's not really that straightforward. I felt at least. I think I could have went straight for the Ice Punch, just went straight for the full farm down, like full knockout there, and still would have been able to win this game because I have a move start already and I still survive 1 Flame Charge here. But just pretend our Reggie still had lower HP than we actually had here. We're going to play it that the opponent doesn't even get to another charge move here, which is exactly what I'm going to do here. I guess it's good practice, even though it was kind of unnecessary, because you see my Reggie Steel's health still. 1 Flame Charge is not going to do enough to knock out myself here, so it's going to be a very decent game for us. Might be the final game already. We're going to see a Galarian Stunfisk against us here, which is going to be an interesting one. We're going to see the Azumarill coming in, which is going to be very good for us. We're going to have, of course, our Registeel here, which is going to be able to go for those Zap Cannons, and they went straight for the Ice Beam, showing that the opponent doesn't really have the biggest knowledge about this game here when they go straight for the Ice Beam, because you will be able to survive a charge move here, and you also will be able to farm up to a Hydro Pump at least in order to try to bait for a charge, like for a shield there. But it's fine for us. We can still go ahead, go for a knockout here with a Focus Blast, getting us still 25 energy, which might be enough to knock out the opponent or just get to the charge move against the opponent's Stunfisk here as well. Let's take a look at this. We will be able to reach this one as well. And we should swap out here right now, because both of our Pokemon are fighting against the Galarian Stunfisk. Both of them are totally okay. We can go ahead, go for a charge move with our Sableye. Gonna get the shield of the opponent, the final one as well, showing that they're most likely weak against Sableye in the back. They're going to stay in here as well, and we can go ahead and go for another charge move. But now let's take a look what we're going to be able to do here for the end game. They're going to go ahead, go for their own charge move. I'm going to let this move go through. It's going to be the Rock Side coming in, and I can see Impeta here because they're going to get to the 3rd foul play at only 5 fast moves, which is going to allow us to now to see Impeta, knock them out. In comes now the Skarmory, and this is going to be a very good game. So yeah, the Sandslash is something that I'm most likely going to take a look at again in a different team as well, just so we can see a little bit more gameplay, most likely tomorrow as well. But yeah, definitely cool Pokemon. Drill Run is a huge buff for this Pokemon, and that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. It's the easiest way to support the channel. Also subscribe if you haven't already, and I see you in the next one. Otherwise, here are also the top teams for the Great League on the screen right now if you're interested in this. Bye bye.